Bear with me 2 minutes. Good evening, everyone. How are we? Hiya, Sue, sweetheart. How is everyone doing today? Thought I would share with you, share with you how I keep my craft items. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hiya, Jan, sweetheart. Hiya, Nikki. Ooh, I made it back in time. Ah, sweetheart. Lovely to see you, lovely ladies. How are we all? We all having a lovely week? Have we had a lovely week? Week's not over yet. Or have we got anything exciting planned for the weekend? Hiya, Deborah, sweetheart. While I'm waiting for everyone to come in, tonight I am going to show you how I keep my craft items, hence why you're looking at a jewellery stand. And I'm also going to be doing some mixed media, shabby chic Christmas tags. I bought these the other day. They're calligraphy inks. And so I'm going to be playing around with them. And yeah, my table's a mess, but I got everything to hand. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. So you're actually looking at the minute, I think you are, you're looking at my jewellery stand. You will have noticed that there are 3 drawers that I need to do something with, because that would just complete the jewellery stand. And I'm hoping to do it by the end of the year, because it's been like that for ages now. So I'm hoping to do that by the end of the year. I will share with you in a second what is in each drawer. On that side, it's a bit of a mixed stuff. There's just mixed things in there. I haven't quite sorted it out. And the lovely Miss is Rian. Hi, Rian. She bought me these little jars, and one is said, it's got a little sewing machine on it, and it says handmade with love. And this one, which I want to put in with it, this one's got a dress form and it says sewn with love. So they are going on that side of my cabinet. And I did have some cork, the cork things to put on top. So that's what I'm keeping in at the moment. So let me share with you what I have got in my jewellery stand. So my jewellery stand, I'm going to move sort of everything out the way as best as I can without interfering anything. Okay, my jewellery stand is paper on each side. So I'm going to talk you through where everything belongs in a second. I'm running out of room. How can I possibly run out of room? I've got a big, massive desk left. Right, okay. So this is the jewellery stand. Now, the jewellery stand didn't take me long to paper. It's actually got paper on the back. And it's all like, I did it sort of settle vintage. I didn't want to go quite dark with it. So this is like, one of those small paper pads. So I had to cut it up into 4, hence why there's lines. And I glued it on with Mod Podge, and I also painted it with chalk paint as well, just to give that look. So the sides are the completely same. I used vintage photo all the way around. Now this was done a couple of ages ago. It's got to be over a year, hence why the beading is coming off. But anyway, so that's what the sides look like. Now the round edging I did with the brown bottle. The brown bottle is tacky glue. I think the brown bottle is called tacky glue. And what I've done, I've got some really small pieces of appliques and wedding appliques as well, beaded. And I've also got like little ribbon roses, and I stuck that all the way around the doors. I also, before I did that, I painted it with chalk paint just to give that white wash. Now in this drawer, like I say, it needs sort of sorting out, because I sort of keep a mixture on this side. Everything else is sort of organized to a point, but this side's not. So I picked up these cute little jars. Sometimes you can buy, over in the UK, you can buy scones and then have the little jam jars, and they're not big at all. Let me get my measuring ruler. They are 2 inches. They're not that big. And in this one are heart paper clips. I turn it that way. These came off Dee Dee's little package she sent me, so I kept them all in a little pot. Good evening, Pauline. Had trouble with my internet. Oh, bless you. Don't you worry about being late. That's what everyone had in my drawers looks like. I know. This side, Nikki, it's just got a mixture of things. I need to sort it out because I've got those little jam jars and I want it to be full like this side, but sort of be organized, if you know what I'm trying to say. I have about 10 of those little jam jars. They are cute, aren't they, Sue? And I think I have 3. And they are so cute. So I really want to do something with them and put them to good use. So I've got these to put in there. And like I say, I have these ones. They'll sort of give it a nice selection. So anyway, they will be sort of at use. Let me just bring you down a little bit. So I have, every now and then when I have like strips of paper, if I'm doing paper craft, I will ruffle it up and then I'll sew it on. I will sew it together. Now this I will use in my journals. Sometimes I'll use them on my cards. Sometimes I'll just use them on the packaging. But any like cut off pieces of paper, instead of putting them in the bin, I sort of ruffle them and sew them together, so I sort of can you reuse it then. Can you make shelves in that section? Well, Deborah, that's a good question. And actually, I don't know is the answer. When I first bought the jewelry stand, it was that colour. That's the colour it was, all the way around. It would be useful if I could put like a little mini drawer, even if halfway. You got me thinking now, Batman. Something I've sort of, at first I wanted on each side, knocking it over now, on each side I wanted tall bottles. I didn't want the mini ones. And then as over time, I sort of collected little jam jars, and you'll see on the other side. The other side is quite funny actually, but it's a good idea. Shelf. I've just got those tiny little jars. They are so useful, and I've also got to go in these as well, which again I've got to make room for. I have 2 little tins. I collect these little tins when I can find them. I have got 2 somewhere, but I don't know where the other one is. It's on my little shelving stand. And these little tins are so useful. So I've got one there, and I have, oh, I've now got 3 because I have 2. I have 2 that's like different, and then I had this one when I bought my inks and by inks I mean these calligraphy inks. When I bought the pen, which you'll see me use tonight, which is this, it comes in a little tin, and in this little tin are the nibs, and the idea is, those are the nibs, and the idea is you put on the end of the pen and you dip them in the ink, so you haven't got ink going everywhere with calligraphy pens and the old-fashioned fountain pens. You haven't got sort of anything messy. So I've got 3 little tins, but I want to put them to good use. So any ideas on what I can put in them, or how I can sort of lay it out better, please let me know. I like Deborah's idea of putting a shelf there. So you've got me thinking. You've got me thinking. I'm going to raise you up slightly. So on this side, we have the pearls. Pearls shouldn't really be in there because I do have a pearl drawer, but they're in there. I have some This is what Miss Paisley made me, the lovely Angie. She made me last Christmas, and I keep it in here. And basically what it is some seam binding that she's made in all different fabrics. And this is just a cut off that and sometimes, well, if I'm doing something pink and it needs a little bit of pink fabric, then I will use this. So yeah, that was something that the lovely Miss Paisley made me last year. So I keep that, and she decorated the top and did her own spool, and it was just a really nice gift. I think she gave it for me for Christmas, I'm not sure. Right, so that's that. Inside here are these. These are so wicked. Now, I know I shouldn't buy them, but they are adorable. Any guesses as to what they are? What would you think they are? Because at first, when I picked them up in the shop, I thought they were mini hats, and I'm like, how can that be a hat? And inside is like a cellophane thing, but I picked two up. I picked three up actually. And it was just to give me some inspiration. So they're jam jar lid covers, exactly, doily shower caps. I love it, Rian. Doily shower caps. They do look like shower caps, and they feel like it. I thought they were mini hats. So this is what they look like on a jam jar. And they look adorable when you put them on jam jars. So I'll come to that side in a second. So what else do we have in here? In here we have some pictures. Now the lovely Marlu, who's Gracie's place, she crochets around images, and I have been really inspired by it. So I started off with it being laminated, then I sort of punched holes in as you go. And I did do one, but it's quite difficult to do. So hats off to you, lovely Marlo. So that's what them. That is an image that I transferred using Mod Podge and the where you rub it off, eventually rub it off. I love the image. It really looks old and vintage. And when I did it, it was, when I had the picture, it was all colour, but I like how it's turned out. So that's what's in there. And then at the back, we have some sequins, pink sequins. And the lovely Janet sent me these. So it is quite deep, holds quite a lot. And obviously got a mirror at the back, and it's 4 inches by 10. So it's quite deep. And the other thing is why I love this, it's got a pattern on the glass. Now, I didn't actually put the pattern on the glass. I don't know whether you guys can see it. Let me see. No, that won't work. But there's a pattern on the glass. I don't know whether the camera will pick it up. So let me put all these lovely little bits and pieces back in. So yeah, that's what's in that side. But I like Deborah's idea of putting a shelf there. What else did I put out in there? Oh, the images. Okay, so that sits there. Okay. Just want to make sure you guys can see. So the shelving unit. Now, the shelving unit, the drawers. I started off Mod Podging and using paper all the way around the edges, and I even did the top. And then when it came to the front, this isn't actually glued down. I took the handle off, and it's a bit like a screw cap. Let me show you. See how it's screwing? So I took it completely off, and then I put it back on, put a doily there, an applique there, and screwed it back on. So they're not actually stuck, because I thought if I wanted to change my mind, then I could. So in here, we have some beautiful, what would you call these? I can't remember what they're called now. They still, oh, Claire, what are they called? I can't remember what they're called. But this is a pack that I bought off that shop that sells flowers online. Oh, I can't remember the shop either. if anybody can remember the shop, they sell like loads of paper flowers. They're known for the flowers online. It's one shop that I think most of us go to. I can't think. Charms, yeah, that's what they're called. But I had them off a certain shop, and I can't think what shop I've had them off. But they're all beautiful and they're all unique. So I sort of put them in there. And I have got a small little, and I like these because they've got a little hole at the top. And yes, Jan, they're charms. Orchid flowers. Thank you, Miss Rian. I always forget what it's called. But yes, I had them off there. And I love, it was a little pack. I love the little butterflies. So that's what's in that drawer. That drawer belongs on the top. The next drawer down, what do we have? So in the next drawer, we have some beads and embellishments and all sorts of bits and pieces. So I have my owl charms. There's more owl charms there. I have just different things. I'm going to just tip the selection out. Some chain. So I should really make one drawer for everything. But this is me you're talking to. So I have a load of charms and a load of bits and pieces that I can add to my projects. And if you know me at all, if ever I send you something, always look out for this little charm. It's a Forever Friend bear, that collection. And whenever I send out little gifts, I always add him into my mixture. So that's what's in that drawer. Good evening, Miss Paisley. How are we this evening? So that's what's in that drawer. I should put, oh, that one's real. That charm's real. I'm throwing it around. What is that? It's a Kinaba. I think that's how you pronounce it. I did write it down. That is a real gem because I did collect them. I've got a ton. I have got loads to show you. And I know everybody's waiting for the next part to my craft room tour, which I will be doing this weekend. So the next row down, now I've had this ages and ages and ages. I absolutely love it. I love it for all the different reasons. I love it because of all the sequins and all the gems that make it all up. And then at the bottom, it's got like little dandelion leaves and little beads. It's beautiful. It's been in my sewing box, I want to say, for almost 10 years, maybe more. And I've never added it to a project. I've gone to, and then I thought, no, it doesn't really go. So I've never had quite the right project to add to it. If that makes any sort of sense. I hope, does anybody got those things that they keep something and they bring it out and you haven't made quite that project to add it to, if that makes any sort of sense. Does anybody know what I mean? So I sort of keep it, but the project hasn't come up yet for me to use it, if I'm making any sort of sense. Pauline, thank you, Pauline, sweetheart. I'm glad I'm making sense. And I take that as you've got something that you haven't quite found the project to use it on. So I'm not alone. So in this drawer, we have all my bling pieces. Now, I tend to, these I had from the lovely Shilpa, who is she on YouTube? Craft Angel Online. There we go. Craft Angel Online. And I bought these in a lace sort of kit. And some of them are brooches. And I tend to now keep my eye out on the charity shops for some brooches or like little bling pieces. Obviously I don't go out and buy really expensive pieces. Didn't mean the vintage pieces. But anything that's like £3 or under, then I'll pop it in that drawer. So that's that one drawer. Cara says, yeah, I've got lots of things that I tend to keep and not use. Yeah, and exactly the same. And you'll probably find the more I show you things in here, you'll probably see that I've got the same thing, but they're just in different compartments. Different compartments. Right, in this drawer, we have my selection of keys. Oh my word, look at my selection of keys. I love my selection of keys. Let me just put you down to show you my keys, because I absolutely love my keys. I don't know why I love the keys so much, but I do. And I've got a nice stashy collection, and I think there's more. I've even got an old house key in the mixture. Oh, I love my keys. And sometimes I'll use them, sometimes I'll just dangle them. I can't part with them usually. I can't part with them. So I got small, tiny little keys. This is what I mean. See, loads and loads of keys. And I got them. And the other thing I do have that's in here, these are tiny, because I do miniatures. These are tiny heart flat back embellishments. And you buy a pack of, I want to say 10 or 15, and they're small hearts, and you can add them into your miniatures. So I tend to add these on like miniature bags or suitcases, that kind of thing. And they're really cool. And you can even add them to cards. I've known to do that before now, add them to cards. So that's my selection of keys. Let me pop these back in. They are fun to look at, different kinds. They definitely are, Nikki, sweetheart. I love looking at keys, and especially when you guys use your keys. I love it how when you use them in projects. I love the fact you pick them up, not mad to use them. I sort of can't part with my keys. Sometimes I'll part with them, and sometimes I'll open the drawer like this and then I'll close it. Right, in this one, we have a bit of all sorts. So this is what I'm saying. I need to really sort of sit down and do it. So I have some tiny, I don't even know why I bought these. I can't remember what I bought them for. Something miniature, I expect, because they are tiny springs, miniature springs. They are not even half an inch. They are super tiny. And then in here we have a spool with some cord on. Of course, every girl needs spool. This flower was stuck to my keyboard, but I've got to restick it. And somebody, I'd like to say Marlu made me the button flower, and then I added it to the leaves on the back. So one of them. I have another key. Pop that into that drawer. Then I have these. Now these I sort of again use and not use. These are hat pins, but they're a bit different. These have got like a thing on the top where you can either sew stuff to or add to. And then at the bottom, there's your little safety little pin. So there's three of them. And I've got an unusual one. Now I've kept hold of this again, I want to say 3.5 years. And every time I get it out, it's one of those things where I sort of look and I think I can't put anything on top of that. That's absolutely stunning. I don't really want to put anything on top. So I tend to sort of look at it, admire it for what it is, and put it back in my drawer. I don't know what that's doing. And then I have a little love spoon charm. Now, for those that are Welsh, who have family that are Welsh, you'll know that a love spoon in Welsh, they used to hand them out many years ago, because at that time they couldn't afford to give each other rings. So when they got married or engaged, they would have a love spoon, and you would usually be carved in wood, and they would have the name carved and the date they got married, and then that would symbolize just like a ring or a wedding ring or engagement ring. That would symbolize them, like a band. That would symbolize like a wedding band. So that's the story of a love spoon. So a bit of history there. Good evening, Miss Janet. So that's what's in there. I am keeping that because I'm sort of got a little project. I don't even know what I put it. And she's a fairy, but she's in a loaded hoop. Loaded hoop? No, she's not on a loaded hoop. An embroidered hoop. And I did it in like a craft fair at the time. So I brought the thread home to sort of complete it, but it sort of has been on the sideline. So that's what's in that drawer. Good evening, Miss Janet. Right. In this drawer, and obviously I've got this as well, which you all saw at the beginning. This again was made by the lovely Marlu, who is Gracie's Place. There's all her little details at the back. Marlu makes absolutely beautiful things, and I am so lucky enough to have some of her work in my stash. And she made me this as a thank you for buying one of her kits. And I think I bought the Beatrix Potter Christmas one. So she made this hoop, and this is what I'm saying about these pictures. So it's a picture like that, no, like that with a hoop in, and she's crocheted around it, which you can see, and then she's added and added and added to it. So that hangs on my unit. And then when we had the ladybird as we call it, challenge on the group, I bought these little pegs with the ladybird attached. So I put that on top of there. So that's what hangs. Usually hangs higher, but never mind. Right, so in the last drawer, remember what I said a couple of minutes ago about you'll see things that are the same but are slightly different. Now, I have a bit of a set obsession with buttons. I've only got a very small collection, so bear that in mind for what I'm about to show you. So, I have a tub full of buttons, multicolored buttons, all different size. Some I've got quite nice markings on, like this green one, for instance. Some are really strange. This is a nice pink one. So I've got a bit of perception when it comes to buttons. So that's what's in that container. My next container, which is this one, which is the jar that I showed you earlier. Now, again, this is, you can buy these from Hobbycraft. I bought mine from Hobbycraft when they were on sale, and I think I paid like 50p for it. And at the time, Chris went, "Why are you buying these? You can make them." I was like, "Yeah, but they look really pretty on jars." They look really pretty, so why not? So I bought 3. So in this little jar, now this little jar was, I bought a salt and pepper jars without the holes at the top, and this was the salt jar. And I keep a selection of buttons in there. So just to show you my variety of small collection of buttons. Oh my god. So I have a little charm in there. I have a very small, like I say, collection of tiny buttons. So that's what lives in there, and they're all different. And I can sort of, some of them are really cool because I like these ones with the spools. So I've got quite a few of them. So anyway, that's what's in that jar. And I will use these buttons. I do use them actually on my project. My very small collection, like I just said, very small collection. So when I do my video on the weekend of my other bits and pieces in my craft room and how I store my items, you'll know what I store in my jewelry box. And then that cover goes on top. See? Beautiful. I didn't have to do nothing to it. Right. So the next one, This one, I started to decorate some of the jars. So I have been over, I want to say 3 years since I've been on YouTube. It'll be 3 years this Christmas, February. I've been fortunate enough where people have sent me flowers. So this flower was actually given to me by the lovely Angie. She gave me a bag of scraps, and the flower was in the bag of scraps. And she went, "Yeah, you can have the bag." I said, "Ange, you've given me a flower. You okay with that?" She went, "Yeah, I'm okay with that. You can have the flower." So anyway, I put it on top of my jar. And then I put some flat back bead embellishment all the way around the rim. All the way around the rim. Yeah, because I want to show you. And then I put some lace trim all the way around, and I used a small applique, and I did put a button. So the idea was to put those pearlescent buttons in the jar, so I knew what was in the jars. It didn't quite work out that way. Good evening, Debbie, sweetheart. So these are, I'll tell you what these jars are now in a second. They're not jam jars. I'll tell you what they are, where I got them from. So these are some bling pieces. They are actually buttons. So I keep my big buttons completely separate from my little ones. Why these are in there, I don't know. So my little bling pieces, I have a butterfly button, which I have used on some of my projects, and some like old-fashioned, they remind me of like cardigan or jumper buttons. So I keep them in there. These jars that I'm about to show you, these plastic ones, are last Christmas. You know how you can buy sweets at Christmas and we all celebrate Christmas differently? Well, before Christmas, me and Chris usually go out Christmas shop and we usually buy sweets, chocolates, to sit in front of the TV and watch movies, of course. So these were sweet jars, and I only bought them for the jars. The sweets in there, me and Chris don't even like. And he said, "Why are you buying these?" I said, "Because I really like the jars, of course." He said, "Only you." So I emptied all the sweets, and then I kept the jars. So that's what these jars are. That's what these jars are. And when I went to get another box, because that's what they were in, they had gone. So in this jam jar, and they're plastic, they're not glass either. That one is, but these aren't. This one is flat back pearl embellishments. Flat black embellishments they're called, I can't remember. And I had a big job lot. There's a there's a page on Facebook called Craft and More Craft. It's absolutely epic page on there, and on there everybody not only shares inspiration, anybody can join, but on there you sometimes find that people will sell stuff, and they'll sell stuff like in job lots. I've had these from there. I've had die cuts off there for really hardly anything. I've had ephemera pieces, all different types of things. So it's craft and more craft. That's what it's called on Facebook. And like I say, I'm always checking every day what has been posted. And sometimes people will post things like, there was a lady on there the other day, and she had made something for a little girl for Christmas. So she was asking what way should she put she had done a picture, and she was asking what way should I put the image, facing left or facing right, and she had all lovely comments underneath, and it really gave her inspiration. And then she came back and she posted a picture with it facing right, I think, but she said thank you for everybody for inspiration. But it's a really good page. So it's called Craft and More Craft, and look up the job lots on there because they're epic. So that's what they are. So the next one, this is a glass jar. This is a salt and pepper jar. This did have a little bit of holes at the top. Now I will say this, I can't remember who made me the flower. That sounds really bad. I think it was Carol. I want to say it was Carol, but I can't remember for certain. And I do keep my flowers that everybody makes me. I keep them in sandwich bags with everybody's name, so that when I go to use the flower, I know who's made me. But the trouble is, when you stick them on top of jars, you kind of lose the name. So I've sort of had to think about how to add the name so I know who's made me every flower. I'm sure it was Carol that made me this because there's a pink one in there and she put it in my loaded hoop. I'm sure it was you, Carol, sweetheart. So in here they are glass jars, and in here you've got like little ribbon roses, all different colours. The ones are quite big, but still really nice to use on your projects. So that's what's in this jar. And I did some ribbon work on the top as well. So the next one is, again, I can't remember who made me the flower. It's really frustrating because I can't remember who made me the flower. I'm going to have to either put like tags or a name at the bottom so I know who's made me what. Because if you notice, some of the jars haven't got flowers on. Because when I was sticking them on top, I was like, I can't remember who's made me this. So yeah, I'm going to have to sort of find a way of sticking somebody's name on the thing so I know who's made me what. In this one, I've put some pearl trim. It is coming off slightly, but some pearl, flat back pearl embellishment all the way around the jar. And in this one, we have more buttons, of course. In this one, we've got like pearl buttons, you know, on one of the jars. This one, that's the pearl buttons. The idea was to put the pearl buttons in here. We have some flower buttons. These ones are absolutely stunning. I love them ones. I've got them in pink and all sorts of colours. That's what's in there. Then this one, Carol made me this flower, and it was in my loaded hoop, so I know that for certain. And again, I put the yellow ribbon all the way around. And in this one, I got given by the lovely Miss Angie Paisley. She gifted me a bag of flat back heart embellishment things. I think I bought a bag and then Angie gave me a bag. I got it from Country Baskets. So yeah, they're all different ones, and some of them have got like a pearl edge into them. So that's what's in this one. And I'm not running out anytime soon. Oh my gosh. Right, in this one, Rian made me this crocheted little topper. She did me a big crochet topper, which I've used sometimes to put my cup on, but Rian made me a small one. So thank you, Mrs. G. So I glued it on top, and I went to put a flower on, and I thought no, because crocheting is hard, and if I put a flower on that, it will spoil what Rian's done. So I glued that on top, and I'm going to put some ribbon or something around the top. And in this one, we have, Shirley gave me these. We have some tiny little ball beads with some gold swirls on them. They're really funky. So if I put them in the jar, you'll sort of see them. I'm so bless you. Yes, Mrs. G, I think that your crocheted, because you've made me quite a few of these now. They're absolutely beautiful. And Rian's also done me a jar that sits in my living room, but I want to bring it in here. And it's got a pink sort of case to the top of the jar. It's absolutely beautiful. And when I do my walk around of my room, I'm going to bring it in because I want to put my bits and pieces inside. I know where I want to put inside it, but that is in the living room at the moment with my hairbands. So yes, Mrs. G made me this one. This one, again, I can't remember who made me this one. I can't remember. I do apologize. I've put some pearl trim all the way around, and this is natural ribbon. And in this one, we have, actually, I might keep these out because we have got because we're doing Christmassy. We've got some sequins. And we've got some tiny little snowflakes. Let me bring the camera down here a minute. So we've got some sequins. They're kind of cool. I might keep these out. Tiny little snowflakes. Here they are. If I can grab hold of them. These are like little ball, like clear balls. That's the only way to describe it. They're flat on one side. That's what I'm fishing for. They're flat on one side and they're like little snowdrops almost. That's the only way to describe it. And they're really cool to add to your projects. So I'll keep them out because I want to add to that. I completely forgot I had them in there. So that's what's in that one. So now I want to show you something else before I move on to making my mixed media jars. Gosh, come on, Claire, fingers. Right, I'm going to push them to one side. Right, I'm going to put these back in, and again, it's quite tall, so I tend to stack them on top of each other. And that one just lays on there. So see how sort of neat and tidy they're supposed to be. So the top of my box, it's literally got a piece of applique on top, and then what sits on top of my box is this. So let me share with you what sits on top. Sharon Pritchard made me this going back last year, and it is a box. Now I keep all sorts in there, all like different pieces. I tend to keep my vintage laces in here, but if I've got like cut-offs, then I'll use them. That's another. See, that was the other one Rian made me. That one was to match the one on top of my jar. Isn't that beautiful? I love the little things all the way around. And she said you can use it as a coaster. And I was like, I don't want to use it as a coaster. So I got like little appliques, and all folded, of course, because you are talking to collect. So that's what's in here. I keep my vintage laces, things like these. This is a vintage lace, stuff like that. So, and of course, the lovely Mrs. G's work. So, yes, Mrs. Rian, I keep your work safe and sound. So Sharon made me this. It's absolutely beautiful. I love everything about it. She did it all in vintage. She even did the bottom of the jar, and she did the back as well, all in flowers. It's absolutely stunning. So that lives on top like that. Then I have this, which I will get to grafting now in a second. Good evening, Abril, sweetheart. How are we this evening? So this is a box that I went to, at the time I was making it for a swap. And I had to giggle because I was like, I like it too much. And I know where it would go if I made it myself. So I ended up keeping it and making something. I think I made a different box. But this is a basket. And what I've done is I've added, if I take that off, I've added some appliques. I think Angie made me this flower, some beautiful pink flower, all done in organza. And I did it all in like white. Painted it first with white chalk. If I come into the camera, painted it first with white chalk, and then went over it in white sort of organza. So that's the flower that I was trying to show you, and the front. Yeah, show you a bit more. There. See, and I got appliques and all different sorts. So that's what lives on top. And in here, I do keep, and I have started folding them up. If I take these out because they're just all sorts. Now I do keep like little laces like these. I tend to fold them up. So I've got some of that. I've got a butterfly trim, butterfly stamp trim. What else have I got in here? Some fabric, you know, little fabric. These are crochet pieces. I did that when I first started crocheting, so I kept that. Again, just little crochet pieces that I've kept. More applique pieces, just different things. And then on this side, we've got some fabric squashes that the lovely Miss Sarah gifted me. And then I've folded some, this should be all folded, but it's not, because I go in there and then I put everything on top and then it's just a big gigantic mess. Crocheted more trim, and most of these have got a home, believe it or not. And then I have started, now I did this back in the summer. These are clothes pegs, and what I've done is I painted the actual peg. It can attach on the side if I wanted to, and then I wrapped lace around it. Now this was done with Mod Podge and white napkin and then painted over the top. So that's what that was done. And like I said, all different types of laces and just gorgeous things to craft with, really. So I'm gonna pop all these back like so. And my little bird, he was where did he come from? I think I bought him. He was supposed to be on top of like a what would you call it? A clothes, not clothes horse. What am I trying to think of? A bag, clothes bag where you put the pegs in. He's supposed to be on top of that. But I sort of nabbed him for this room because I quite liked him. So that's what that is, and I'll show you how it lays out in a second. Right, and then on top is another basket, which I've yet to decorate. It will be decorated, and in here I'm supposed to be, if I take all this off, these are wooden spools. Now this is how I keep my, I should keep my laces, and if you notice, they've all got a hole in the top. Was another one. That's how they come, without the hole. So they come without the hole, and I buy them like that, and I think you get 30 in a pack, and I buy them from eBay. And Chris, who was my lovely husband, he drilled a hole for me at the top, and then I keep all my laces hanging up behind me. So this basket is essentially to bring the laces that I want to use from over there in here. But over time, it's just because I'm just disorganized at the minute. Over time, it's just become a dumping ground, which I'm going to sort them all out and they'll be back over where they belong. I need to sort that out first. That's another piece of Marlo's work. See what I mean? And you can attach anything to them. I might keep that one up because it's little. So all these have a space over there, and then the spools that have nothing on, I tend to keep, and then I'll decorate them up and I'll give them out either for swaps, birthdays, Christmas. And I think I did a couple of, I think I did 3 or 2 spools for Angie. I can't remember now, but that's what I do. And if I wanted just one spool, you just take off the cardboard of that one, take off the cardboard of that one, stick them both together, and you'll get a thicker spool. But I tend to keep them, and they are in a different basket, which when I film the top of the cupboard, because that's where you're all at, you'll see what basket I keep them in. And like I say, they all need, all these little baskets need decorating, and it's something that I am trying to get to, but I haven't got to just yet. So let me just share with you what it now looks like. So that's how I keep it. That's exactly how it's kept every day. And in here I've got another set of drawers. So just quickly before we move on to my crafting projects for tonight, in here is all my hand sewing stuff, and I've started, where is it, I've started to sew some pearls and appliques. Sorry guys. Started to sew some pearls and appliques, and I have got, where is it? There it is. See, I have started to, no, still can't see Clat. Oh God. Bear with me. 2 ticks. There you go. See, I've started to sew some pearls. So I want to do that for the whole thing, because then it becomes a bookmark. So that's what all this is in. This is all by small handmade ribbon. And then any like pins anybody's made me, that's what keeps my ribbons together. See, there's another one. That's what keeps all my pins together. So that's what's in here. And then I'll show you some bits and pieces to do some hand sewing. Okay, where are we at? So on the top here is, this is a bag that my lovely mama made me. It's just a nifty little bag that I keep things in, and I pinched some elastic. Just some. I pinched some elastic from her to do my swimming bathers. So I sort of put it in here, so hoping she'll forget that I've got it. Just some elastic, you know, just a little bit. Now this, when my sort of room, when my table is clear, then how we put it like that, I lay this on top. Now this is very, very beautiful. This piece came from Paphos in Cyprus. So for those that don't know, the reason I haven't been able to upload anything is because I've been on holiday during the month of September. And so when you were all seeing my swimming bathers coming up, that's when I was on holiday. So I came back with this, and I also came back with this. So this piece, I put my mouse on, and that's how I use it. And they are all hand, this is all hand done, and she even showed me how she did it. So that was really cool, because I saw how she made lace. That's what she called it, lace, but I think in our terms it's called tatting, because of the way she's done the holes and stuff. And then this was in the lace shop, because there's a massive lace shop, and it's beautiful. It's not something I am cutting up at all. It is something that I keep, and when my table is completely clear, I laid it on top. So that's why it's folded on top of those 3 drawers. Just because, and it's the same on the other side, just because I don't want to get nothing on it. I don't want to get any paint or ink or anything like that at all on it. It's absolutely stunning. So, and it's got like little sequins and beads on. It's just beautiful. So that's what lays on my table. Or sometimes I lay it over my sewing machine, when not in use. And that's how it's kept. So we're nearly finished shadowing our room. Oh, okay. Bear with me, 2 ticks. Technical fault. Right. So these drawers, now this was originally on the floor when I first was sorting out my room. I wasn't using them. I think one drawer had gigantic paper clips. So let me show you what's in each drawer. They are wooden drawers. They come with the pattern on the front. So the top drawer has got all my pins in, which I'm hoping to take out, because the minute you put your hand in, you get sort of attacked with pins, and it's not a good way to keep pins. So I'm going to be taking them out and put them in like a safe container of some sort, because I kind of stab myself every time I go in there. So that's what's on that drawer. And the other drawer I have, like, these are different pieces. So I have paper clips. And then this is a bag of just little things I had with my cone, but I can't remember. Carolina made it me. I can't remember what the cone's called. No, Carol gave it to me. Be positive she gave me that. And there's all different pills in. Carol gave me this, I beg your pardon. And there's like little just little bits and pieces. So I keep the bag. I keep the bag on around me, so I can sort of go in here and have a look at what's been in here. Just all different types of bits and pieces. So that's what's in there. And then what is in the little cabinet. Now that again was gifted to me by the lovely Linda. Now I haven't seen Linda for ages, but she made me a loaded embroidered hoop, and on that part of the parcel she gifted me this beautiful box. So you open it like that, and it's a bit like it reminds me a bit like a placemat. It's absolutely beautiful. And then in here I have my crochet items that W Malu has made. Came in kits. And then in here, which should be in the door, like I say, some things I've just got 2 places for, some things I've only got 1. Again, that's a pin that you put on your jumper or scarf or whatnot. And then little snowflake, some flat pack embellishments. That's what's in there. I hope I said hello to you, Debbie, sweetheart. If I haven't, hello, sweetheart. I hope you're having a lovely week and a lovely start to the weekend. So I'm going to pop these back in, and then I'm going to show you the last drawer before we move on to some crafting. So the last drawer. Now the last drawer holds. This now holds, and I've been sorting it out. These hold my glitter and my ink. If you know me at all, I will use glitter. I will use embossing powder, but it's not my go-to thing. If I had to choose between embossing and using glitter to, I don't know, put in, I know, something else on that would be glittery, this wouldn't be my first choice. But I've got a small selection because I don't tend to use it that often. So this is some snowflake white glitter, and I had this from the works ages and ages ago. Like that. Then this one is the embossing black sparkle. It really comes up really nice actually, and especially on when you're doing it on different cards, it pops the colour even more. Then I've got some gold embossing powder, and then this one, which I love using, this is silver pearl. I must admit this has to be my favourite because you can see I've got much left, and I'll show you why it's my favourite. Because you get like, it's really sparkly when it comes on, so it's really beautiful to use. So that's what's in that, and I got some obviously large paper clips. That's all that was in the drawers up until fairly recently. So that is my ideas on sharing with you what I have in my drawers and how I keep different things separately. So, you know, yes, some of it is like a complete mess, I will agree with you, but I'm getting there with organising my stuff, and it's not going to come overnight because I am quite disorganised anyway, but I'm working on it, if that makes any sort of sense. So yeah, so that's my inspiration for how I keep my things. Colette, you have lots of pretty treasures. Thank you, Miss Janet Carter. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like using a variety of different things, I must admit, especially in projects, because you never know when you might need something. So I tend to sort of keep a variety of different things. But you will see I am going to be doing the videos. I am going to be doing this weekend. I keep saying it, but I will do it this weekend because I've had everybody going, when are you going to do the next step? So yeah, it's coming up this weekend. And when I get to the jewelry stand and the drawers, you guys will already know what's in there. So yeah, that's how I keep my stuff. So I hope you really enjoyed that. Now I'm not going anywhere. Don't think I am going anywhere. I'm not going Anyway, just turning the camera up and down for you guys to see what I'm doing tonight. So I thought I would get really creative tonight. I have got a variety of different die cuts. Some are like quite snowflakey. I've got snowflakes. I'm going to be doing a shabby chic Christmas tag. Just to, I don't know, I just feel like getting really messy with my crafting tonight. So I've got tags, all sorts. The honeycomb things, I didn't die cut these. But the lovely Miss Rian did. So I'm going to use some of that tonight in tonight's project. So I have, these are on watercolor paper. I've cut these out, and I'm going to use, these are 3D decoupage books. I have two. I have one in like blues, like a wintry feel, and this one is sweet winter season. Now the idea is you pop things out and you make a cards with them. I tend to pop things out and not make a card as in such, but pop things out and make things with them as they are. So we are going to go shabby chic, and I'm going to pop, see, I'm going to pop some leaves out, and let me see what else I've got. I like that image. Juice. Oh, there's a snowflake there. So all these pop out, and I got these from the works. Oh, on that one. And there's a snowflake there. And at the bottom, there's like little mini roses. So I'm just popping some stuff out that I would like to use in my projects. I don't want anything, well, I don't want anything blue. I want to go pink tonight. I've got some pink roses, and I'm going to break this up, and I'm going to put some of these just to break the colour up, because it'll start to break the colour up a little bit if I use them. So you've got them. What else have we got? They're beautiful images. I've got the word snow, not ripped it. Pine cones. So what have we got all together? We've got these flowers. We've got these small little snowflakes. I've got the picture of the robin. These, I think we need some more to break up. Now, bear in mind, I've also got the die cuts as well that I cut out earlier. See, they're beautiful images, and these come from the works. No, not the works. The works. It's not the range. I was going to say the range then, but it's not. Now, I like these. Oh, that's a nice snowflake. You just pop them out, but they give you like all this, and you can make tons and tons and tons of cards with them. Blues, and then that's that book ended. So we've got quite a nice selection. I think in this book we have the more blues than the pinks, but I want to break it up a little bit. Even though I am doing shabby chic, I still want to break it up to make it look a bit Christmassy. Just trying to think. Got some leaves, and we've got another snowflake there, and we also got a feather as well. That'd be kind of cool to use. I think we got enough. Oh gosh, I think we got enough to be getting on with. Colette, still looking, look. They're really cool as well, and they are gorgeous paper pads. Now, this was last year's collection. I haven't seen this year's as of yet. Hint, hint, I need to go for shopping spree. So that's the pads I got. Now, the actual tags I cut out in watercolor. So I'm going to put all these that I've just pumped out to one side because I don't want them getting wrecked. And I'm going to use, now I did buy myself a stencil. This is the stencil I purchased from Hobbycraft. Now, the stencil has multi sort of patterns on it of snowflakes. And it wasn't that expensive, £1.50, something like that. This was from Hobbycraft. And you get lots of different ones. So that's that one. And then when I just die cutting some shapes out earlier, I was like, well, why am I not using what I've die cut out as a stencil? So I've got them out. I've got that bauble out because I have got a bauble that I want to do, bauble tag, which is this one. So I think I'm going to do them too instead of that one. I've got that one and then I've got that one. So I'm going to use these because you don't necessarily have to use stencils in order to do like a mixed media project. Sometimes if you've got a die cut or shape, use what you've got. So what I'm going to do is use them. And I have got, because I'm using watercolor paper, I'm going to dampen up the paper slightly. So I'm going to use the bauble first. And I'm going to turn it that way. And I'm going to tape it down because I don't want work to move. I'm going to tape it all the way around the edge. And this is going to be my, this is a, oh God, what do you call them? This is what you use on the big shot, the plates. So I use the plate in order to do it. So I've got my 2 tags. And I did have, yes, I have got some water. So I'm dampen the back because that way, because of it being watercolor, it'll help stick it down. And I'm gonna just take a little bit of tape and I'm going to take the bottom as well. I'm just taping a little bit. Now it will pop up, but there's nothing I can really do about it. There you go, that's perfect. And then I'm going to tape the other one so that the water moistens the paper, and then that way then I'm not having to worry about topping the water up every 2 minutes. Those are nice paper pads. Thank you, Debbie, sweetheart. They are beautiful, nice, beautiful paper pads, and especially because they're versatile, so you can use them with different things. So I haven't treated the paper at all. So I want to use some as stencils. So I'm going to use the snowflakes on this. Now I've done some handmade gesso. So handmade gesso is, I did have crackle medium. Yeah, handmade gesso is white acrylic paint, PVA glue, and I use a little bit of flour, and then I mix handmade gesso up. So I don't bind my gesso in. I tend to, what do I tend to do? I tend to make it. So, again, I've got crackle paste as well. Now, when I used this in the week, it didn't crackle, but it did give me a textured base. So I'm going to put the gesso on the side. I think I just want to get just want to get those snowflakes on there so they can dry without me disturbing them too much. And I'm using quite a bristly brush because I want the paint, the texture paint to bounce the colour back to me. Right, and then this one, I did have another paper pad. Where's it gone? Wait a minute, I might have put it back in my drawer. Bear with me. 2 ticks. Keith, I forget. Right, so I've got this paper pad, and this paper pad is the Promise, but I want to make it quite Christmassy. So I don't want to pick anything that's got any bright colours. I forgot to put that on charge. So I'm gonna go with that one, I think. But before I do, where's my brushes? I'm not organised at all tonight. Me showing you my organisation skills, and I'm barely organised, yeah. Barely, just barely hanging on. Oh, I might. Yeah, I'll use my. I have got these brushes now. I bought them for my inks, and these I bought for my inks. But I'm going to use the wash brush, and I'm going to use them to bring some colour on you. Now I have got. I have got my watercolour paints out. And these are by, who are they by? Essentials. So any watercolour paints will do you. So I'm going to do white and I'm going to do red to make our pink up. That crimson, not scarlet. That'll do. And I want to get the colour going. So I can't find nothing. I'm leaving that there just for a second. Okay. Let me just add some water. I keep a spray bottle as well. I don't know whether anybody else is like that. So I want a bit more pinky. Don't want it as bright as that. I sort of want it to match the pieces that I got out of the paper pads. There. You can sort of see the colour. See the colour? Right. I've got that. I'm going to put that there. And I'm just going to dab it in. I'm just going to make, because the water's wet, the paper's wet, and just let it bleed in and not have to worry about it. Let's move this out the way. There you go. Right, let me make sure that I have got the paint off, because I just want to dab it while it's still wet. going to give it a bit more colour. And because this is more red, more Christmassy. Right, I'm going to use my kitchen roll because the kitchen roll has actually got an imprint on it. Great match, Claire. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm going to press that down. And that would have left a stencil mark. I don't know whether you guys can see it. I'm hoping you can. Let me know if you can see it. Not quite. It has left a stencil mark. Let me move this. Let me know if you can see it or not. It's quite light. It's not dark yet. I don't think you guys can see it. But there is an imprint on there. I'm going to do it a bit darker. I'm going to dry that off first. So let me just get my gun. Has left an imprint. I'm going to lift this up because that would have had the snowflakes on. Don't need that anymore. Right, now I'm going to blast it with a heat gun. This is raised, so because I left it on there. And it's all on watercolour paper. I'm going to make sure this is completely dry, and then I'm going to do it again. But this time I'm going to do it quite dark for you guys to see what I'm trying to do. Right. Didn't quite work that time. Leave it damp a little bit. I'm going to dry it off just a little bit. Right, this is completely dry, so I'm going to get my water on it. And I'm just going to go between the snowflakes. And you can sort of see where it is. Well, you will do in a second once I've finished dabbing and mopping around. There. This one I'm completely happy with. I'm not going to mess about with it anymore because I'm going to build on it. And to build on it, I'm going to dry this completely. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to work on the things that I want to put on there. So for me, I've got some of those nice die catches. These ones, where are they? These, and I've got the ones that lovely Mrs. G gave me. So I'm going to put this to one side, and I'm going to let this dry completely. There we go. Tight in with the tape. Right, let me move that out of the way. Right, I have some shapes. I've got some snowflakes that I've sort of punched. Let me see. Oh, and I have got a little bird that I want to pop him on there. So, because I want to mess about a bit, I'm going to get that. I'm going to paint these. So these are also printed on watercolor paper. I like the idea when I'm painting, especially with watercolor, that you can sort of paint on top, dry it, and then paint another color. So I'm going to leave that dry. I'm going to punch these out with a little scissors unless they're going to come out by themselves. It's just little holes that haven't come out. I do use a little small brush. I'm going to go as pale as I can with this. And I'm not painting the whole thing. Okay. Just painting the ends of the snowflake to match in with what we punched out. Come on. There's one. I'm going to come back to this bird because this bird's dry. And I'm just going to do his chest because his chest would be a different colour. There you go. And then the other snowflake. Now this is, no, not that one. That one? Maybe this one. Wonder where they got to. So these are all snowflakes that have come from the range. So, am I the wrong way? Yeah, I think I am. I'm just going to pop a bit of colour on the ends, and then I'm going to pop a bit of red in the centre. There's my 3 snowflakes. Now with the other one, with the other tag, so the big tag, I have got, did I not pinch it out? I have got a tag smaller. So I think, let's do, I'm trying to think now what would go with pink. What about a bit of green? I've got, this is sap green. I have got other pinks in my thing. I just can't be bothered to get them out. Use another little brush. And I'm going to use a stencil on top of a stencil, if you know what I mean. And I'm just going to paint. Now this is a cut off from one of the things I cut off. This is the round thing, the shape that I cut off the big shot. So I cut the shape out and I left them with a shape. If that makes any sort of sense. I'm not making any sort of sense in what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. When you cut the shape off the big shot, you were left with shapes like this. And usually you would put them in the bin. But I tend to keep them because you can use them as stencils. See? And I'm going to do the same here. Well done, Claire. I enjoy your lives on here on Facebook. You explain very clearly. Oh, thank you, Jan. Hi, Cash Class, sweetheart. Hello, my lovely. How are we this evening? So I'm going to go all the way. You can sort of see it come in. And I'm just going to pop using the cut off. You don't need to go out and buy stencils. Have a look what you're left with when you punch the shape from the big shot. Because you were left with the shape. Now, I'm going to very gently pick the rest of the pink up that I mixed earlier. And I'm just going in between see, I'm just building my colour up. You don't have to buy. Somebody once said to me, oh, I haven't got stencils, I can't do mixed media. And it's like, you can. You can. You can sort of see now what I mean. All these little shapes should have been popped, but I haven't popped them out. Doesn't matter. Right, then I'm going to dry my brush. I'm going to get some of this real deep red, and I'm just going to use it on the edges. A bit like ink. Using my fingers. God give us fingers. Why not use them in our crafting? It's really turning into something Christmassy. I haven't looked at the chat for a while, so I don't know what you guys are saying. That is what you're left with when you use your cut-offs from the big shot. Cash, hiya sweetie, I've made you something for your new improved craft room. Oh my god, have you really, sweetheart? That's amazing. Oh, I'm so blessed. Thank you, my darling. Oh, I got something in the post. Oh, you really inspired me with my room. I must admit, your room is so amazing. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm so excited. I wonder what you've made me. And I know you started to do the lace, haven't you, around your pots. I've got some window boxes. I haven't even bothered doing lace around, but yeah. So I've got all my pink stuff. I'm going to leave this completely white. I'm not going to do anything to that. Now I'm going to bring over. I'm not going to throw this away as of yet because I might want to use it. I think I will actually. But I'm going to go a bit deeper. We'll see. Right. There. Now I'm building my picture up now. So do I want to use... I'm going to use a different ink, I think, on the back. So I have got... Where's my stencil gone? There it is. I have got a new stencil. It's got a bit of a snowflake feel to it. And I want to use quite a deep red. Quite a deep red because I want to do it be a little bit Christmassy. So this is rose. So it's a bit pinky, a bit purpley. I have no idea what this colour turns out to be because I haven't used it before. Right. Oh, it's a bit purple. Actually, let me use my wash brush because I'll be here forever if I do it with the... Oh my word, I love that colour. Where's that colour gone? This, no, where's I put that colour? Oh, yeah, that colour. Ah, where's it gone? Oh, I love that colour very much. Put a tiny little bit of water. Not too much because I don't want it to be overshadowed. And Now with my stencils, while I'm doing this, I can tell you I keep my stencils in a folder, and I tend to keep them all together so I know where they all are. How cool is that? Right, I'm going to do, since that colour's dried a little bit, I'm going to mix the two colours up, and I'm going to use a different stencil, the bigger one, and lay it completely flat. And this is a wash brush I'm using, so I'm just building my stencils up. See? Just building it up. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to concentrate on this bauble one. So this bauble one is quite easy. I like the idea of breaking this up. Now I have got glue, but I haven't got it out as per usual. And I'm just going to pop it there. I'm going to lift these colours up a little bit because they're a bit too matchy, if you know what I'm trying to say. I just need to build the colour up. Otherwise we'll end up with all of it being pink and none of it being what I want it to be. Oh, where's that one? Right, so I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put my picture just here. Now remember what I said about earlier about popping these out to just build it up? And I'm going to pop snowflake there, snowflake there. Let me get my glue, because it does help when you've got glue. Right, I'm going to move all this. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but when I lay things down, like I just did then, right? This is how I go when I lay things down. I'll lay things down like that, and I'll think, oh, that's really pretty. And then I'll take everything off, and then I'll forget how I've laid it down. So I'll just have to lay it down again and again. I don't know about anybody else, but I always have trouble when it comes to doing things like that. So I'm using, what am I using? High Tack all-purpose multi-glue. I always keep the lid on. And I'm going to start using this. And I might even get my embossing. Why not? Because we're doing Christmas. So I'm going to put that just there if it sticks. And I have... just going to shred the sides so it's not all completely straight. There you go. I was like, I take pictures with my phone. Oh wow, do you, Debbie? That's a good idea, because I always forget how I've laid it down. I think, oh shoot, I've put it all down now. Where did I put things? I always forget. That's a really good idea, taking pictures with your phone. I might have to stop doing that. I'm going to put some more of my, I just want it overlaying a little bit. And I'm letting that dry as we speak because I want to build on this. So first, and then we're going to get, I think we'll get the embossing. Why not get the embossing powders out, eh? Have a play around and get them out. So I've just ripped, I haven't gone around the whole edges, but I have done a little some of it. then I'm going to pop the snowflakes. Bear in mind now, all these snowflakes I'm showing you, they were all printed, they were all punched on watercolor paper. And then I've got these little bits and pieces that I punched out of the book. So, whoops. There, and I might put a flat back embellishment on that, I think. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to leave that completely alone, and I might fiddle around with it in a second. So that's that one. Now this one, I've been playing about with the paints, haven't I? So what I've got, and Rian's already punched it. I don't know what Rian punched this out, or maybe she can tell us. But I love the honeycomb. Absolutely love the honeycomb. So I want to punch that there. I'm going to take, oops, I'm going to take the whole of the top because I don't want it to look as if it is a tag. And I'm going to use, you can sort of see it building. This hasn't got any colours of yet because I'm just playing about. And then how about there? And did I have a picture or an image? No, I didn't. Oh, I got some more snowflakes. I need a picture or an image. Right, let me go and get I know what one I want. I want the berries one. Where's, let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. The pictures of the berries is this one. So I'm just laying this on to see where I want stuff. Why not cut the tag? There. There. And we have that and that. Right. Now I can remember how I've done this. Right. I'm going to move that there. Oh my God. Right. Let me try and remember it. And I'm going to put, I've got some paper flowers next to me. So I'm going to stick some flowers on the big tag. You know, these snowflakes I haven't coloured. But I might just do a wash. Like a real deep wash of the green on the edges. So let me get my so what I mean by doing it, sticking to my fingers, just a deep wash of the green to pick that pink up a bit more that I've used on all of it. Does that make any sort of sense what I'm saying? I hope so. Right, let me glue this down. Ted. Ted. My dog's growling at something. I don't know what he's growling at. Right. Pop the snowflake in. Right. I'm going to pop this at an angle so we see. You see that beautiful stencil I done. And then I'm going to glue this on. Now I'm going to glue this one, but I'm actually going to put the picture with a bit of depth. So bear with me while I get my foam pad, because I want the picture to have a bit of depth to it. And guess what I just found? I found a robin. Right, let me see if I can fit in the robin. Yeah, I can. Right, I've got some, this is just normal foam tape. Good evening, Dawn Marie, sweetheart. And I've also, before I stick this down, that one's flat, I've also dug out some of this that we saw in the basket earlier. And I've got some real small lace trim that I want to use. Oh God, I'm making a right good old mess. It would help if you're using the right scissors for the right thing. Right, let me. There you go. And I haven't stuck this down as of yet. There. Let me. Now I have wanted, shall I say, to stiffen the lace so it becomes easier to stick. And I can do that with my spray. And I've got oh, it's like, let me show you now. It's really good stuff to stiffen the fabrics up, stiffen the fibres up in the fabrics. Right, you can either use spray starch, which I'm going to have a go at, or there's another bottle I have roaming around that does the same thing, except it's a bit stronger. And that bottle you can use on carpets and stuff, so you can imagine how strong it is. So I'm going to stiffen these fabrics up just to make it easier to stick. And put that there. Oops. And then I'm going to drop this. So it makes it a bit easier to stick the fabrics. Otherwise, because the fibres are so soft and lace is really soft to handle, it becomes a bit tricky to stick. Now I've stuck some foam pads on the back. Take all this off, of course. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back. I like to do it with foam pads because sometimes they can come off. There you go. And we've got our little robin. And we do have some snowflakes roaming around. Now again, bring in my pieces that I punched from the book. These are the pieces. Oh, these are the pieces I punched from the book. So I'm going to break it down a little bit. There you go. And I'm going to leave that there. That's landed perfectly where I want it to land. There's one. There's two. Just break the picture up a bit. And then with this one, I tend to put glue on my, this is lining that you put in the oven. I'll show you what it is because I've got the package next to me. And I'm just going to pop him just sitting there. Now, is there any other bits and pieces that I've punched out? Now they're both together that I want to use. So I've got the more leaves. There. I've also got a snowflake. See how see, now that would be, because you've got something behind this which breaks the colour up a bit. There, and then I'm going to pop some on here. To use. That would go there. Is there anything else? Now we've punched some of these out. You have to forgive my hands because they're full of glue now. Oh. Right. Oh, I got a feather as well. If birds go over, actually, that could stick down there. So can you see how I used very little but still got the same effect as if I was using like big spray bottles and stuff? So I'm going to move these tapes. Go. And I've got these. Yep. There. And just got a couple of bits and pieces. There. And the bauble, for anybody wondering, the actual bauble itself, it's a die. I bought it from the range. You get the shape and you get the inner, if you know what I'm trying to say. I did actually punch both out, but I can't remember what I've done with them. God knows. So I have these few little bits and pieces remaining. So instead of trying to think, do I want to add it? Don't I want to add it? I am now going to gather my thoughts. I'm going to push what I need away. Like I say, use what that's the inner of the bubble. Use this as your stencil. And I'm going to I've got some new paints out, pink paints. And I'm going to paint the edges and darken the edges up. Because they need sort of attention as well. Now I have some paper flowers that the lovely Mrs. G kindly helped me organise. And I have my paper on. I'm going to get my 3-in-1 glue out for these because they won't stick otherwise. Got more. Oh, that one's got pearls then. Not quite. It's not selling to me. What about this one? No. Nope, that's the same. That's the same. Oh, I know. Bingo. She's out. And I'm going to pop that there. And then I'm going to pop a small tiny flower on top. There you go. Give say, these won't stick if I use the 3-in-1. Now, I'm just looking to see if I've got a tiny... I have a rosebud. Will that go? Oh, that will go, but I thought I need another one to hold it together. Oh, what have I got? What have I got? What have I got? What have I got? Oh, oh. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Right. Ah. I am, oh, goodness me. To get you all in the Christmas mood, why not make Christmas tags, eh? Right, let me get my 3-in-1 glue. Like I said, so I'm organised to a point. Right, I got some 3-in-1 glue here that hasn't been opened. So here goes. And I've also got my inks, which I definitely want to put a splatter on. Okay, let me cut these down. Okay. Oh God. There. Oh. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to cut a snip of this, and then I'm going to put it between the flowers or behind it even. There. That will stick. And then this one, it's easy. My fingers are full of glue now. That's what you do when you get messy crafting. Messy crafting. There. Right. I'm going to add a little bit of paint on the outside. I don't know whether I want to get my what do you call them? Shall I? What do you guys think? Shall I get some what they called embossing stuff out, or shall I do just a flick of paint? What would you suggest? Flick of paint or embossing stuff? What would you suggest? Now there's a decision for you all. That's where I am at the minute. What do I do? Shall I do a flicker of paint of inks, which I have got in the side of me, or shall I use some embossing powders to bring and lift those colours up? Decisions. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that was my chair. Well done, Colette, for banging into the chair. Right, I have, while I'm waiting for everybody to decide, I have next to me, a Pearl Blush, and this is Blush Pink. They're both acrylic paints, and I'm going to take these off here now. I'll have to wipe that down, that's nothing. I am going to do the sides, so the sides match the majig. Right, I'm trying to get the picture up. Right. Okay. Let me move these out of the way. say, anything like this, look, you can use that as your stencil. You don't have to go out and buy stencil because you've got stencils. If you've got a big shop, you've got stencils sitting there and they're just sitting there waiting to be used. And you sometimes you use something and you think, oh, shall I do this? Shall I? And then you sit and play, and then it turns out maybe more than what you wanted it to be turned out, if I'm making any sort of sense. So for the sides, on this one, I'm going to use blush pink. On that one, because the colour I've used so much of, I'm going to do pale blush on that one. So I'm trying to just tidy up a little bit so I can see my table and know where I'm going. I'm going to take my palette, which still has got the ink from before, and I'm going to take my wash brush and what should we say, blush pink. There we go, that's enough. So one pink on both sides of my brush. And all I'm going to do is just tap the edges. And if I want to do a bit more pink, then I shall. Just want to do it on the bauble. And this is acrylic, this isn't watercolour. And this one's even got the ball. See? That one is pearl blush. This one's a bit stronger pink, but still quite nice. I'm just going to get the majority off. And again, coat both sides of my brush. And I'm just going to dab in to the edges of my tag. So if you've got a big shot, use essentials. I promise you, you won't regret it. And you'll be quite surprised what the effect will be as well. So all the way around my edges. And I'm going in sometimes. Can you see around the edge? I'm going in with my paint as well. I'm not filling, or perhaps I'll spoil it. If there's like snowflakes, I'm not going to touch them on the paper. But perhaps I want to give the actual white snowflake a bit of a touch up. So like I say, these are acrylics. These ones you can get from any hobby craft shop. I think you can pick them up online as well. So, right, now I've got that, I'm going to do a little bit of, blush pink on this one. There you go. And I see if I can get some light going on this. Oops. Because I stiffened the lace, it's not moving. I know I've glued it, it's not moving because I stiffened it first. There. Okay, so I have two beautiful tags. Now what I might do is, I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, shall I do it, shall I think it's about time, since I'm doing Christmas tags. With Christmas always comes a bit of sparkle. So I'm going to do embossing pearl, I think. And then I'm going to touch one of them with just sparkle. So one's going to have embossing on it and the other one's not. So I'm going to get a piece of roll. I'm going to just move them out the way because I need to empty this in order to do my embossing. These are all my dies that I've used over the past few weeks. So I've got my stencils I'll keep. This was I had an idea of mine, and I thought perhaps I should do an envelope, you know, for Christmas. You can put a little something in there and then punch the top, and you can put like ribbon or something. You know, you've got these stencils that Mr. Lovely Mrs. G made me. And then again, you've got the punch out from the stencils I keep. And then all like the snowflakes, the stamps, all different bits and pieces. I even did a couple of weeks ago twinchies and inchies. That was another inchy I did, see? So I'm going to move all these to one side. These tags are turning out beautiful. Thank you, Debbie, sweetheart. Trust me too. Thank you, Debbie, sweetheart. Thank you. Right, where can I put this? Over there. Must have sparkle. I couldn't agree with you more. Right. So I'm going to start on this one, and I think on this one I'm going to use a bit of sparkle instead of embossing powder. And then on this one, shall I do it the other way around? I think, oh, I don't know. Sparkle on this one and then embossing powder on this one. Do you reckon? That's a choice. So sparkle on this one, on the snowflakes, and I would do the bird, and embossing powder on this one, or that's a choice. B choice is that, or C choice is both. What would you do? A, so sparkle on this one, embossing on that one. B, embossing on that tag, sparkle on that one. Or would you do C, a bit of both? What would you do? Hi, Claire. Hi, ladies. Hi, Debbie, sweetheart. Hi, my lovely. How is your weekend going? Debbie Vignon says, do both, Claire. Do both. Oh, now that is a compromise, Miss Debbie. I think I should. Right, I'm going to start with my bauble because he's a bit thinner. And I'm going to do embossing first because this one will heat with a heat gun, whereas that one obviously dries over time. So I'm going to do it with some tacky glue, although I don't know if I've got... Usually if I'm doing embossing, I like to do it with... I think I like to do it with what's it called? Tattered lace glue. If I'm doing embossing, because the nib is quite small on it. But I'm using such a long time that it might be closed up. Yeah, it is. Right. Wait a minute. Because the nib is so Come on, Colette. There you go. That's what I wanted. I should be able to go. Oh, God. Right. Have I got any in here that is the key? Don't tell me I done all that for nothing, please. No. I'll use tacky glue. God. Right. So I'm going to do a snowflake, I think. Do the snowflake here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on because, like I say, the embossing powder will do the rest for me. And I'm only dotting the glue on, so I'm not actually loading it in loads of places. I'm just gently dotting it on. There's one. Right. Might even get it on the sides now because there you go. Right, I've got my heat gun. It's under everything. Come on. Give this a bit of a. Here we go. Here we go. There. I'm just going to do this little one again. Okay. So we've got it on the snowflakes, and it looks as if like tinkles of little snow has dropped on those snowflakes. So that's what we wanted. I have got it on the picture, but I'm not completely heartbroken that it's on there. You know what I'm trying to say? It's on there, it's on there. It just adds to the effect. These are lovely. Thank you, Debbie, sweetheart. Be a crazy week taking care of sick granddaughter Hayden, but she's much better now. Oh, bless. I'm glad to hear she's much better. Oh, bless you. You must have been so busy this week. Right, I'm going to do this snowflake. Poorly little granddaughter. Give her lots of, as we would say in Welsh, cwtches. It means hugs. And when I say cwtch up, it means wrap up, boom, cwtch up. Right, and just literally dotting it on like I did on the first bobble even. God. Right. And I'm going to go, so I've done that place, and I'm going to go here as well. And then I am going to go on the bird, but I'm not going to go fully on the bird. So I'm just going to go on the top as if the snow had completely dropped on his head and on his back. Right, so let me just, oh God, I've just put my hand in them. Okay. I'm going to give it a little bit of a tap. Like I say, I'm not bothered if it goes anywhere else. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to empty that in a second because I'm going to use a bit of glitter. And this, like, because I daubed the glue on, done little blobs, it looks as if there's like icicles, I think, I'd say. I'll be honest, I've never made these before. I was just wanted to make Christmas tags because of course I bought the Christmas stencil and bought all my Christmas stuff, and I was seeing all my Christmas papers and I just wanted to make tags, but I wanted them to use my papers from last year. So everything you see is just literally me playing in my craft room. But the colour building is how I would build the colours up. Definitely know I wanted to do a shabby chic, of course. Where's this bird? Go. Actually landed on the piece behind him as well. Again, I'm not bothered. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to add some glitter. I'm going to take the cap off. I love this. This is, what did I say it's called? Pearl Silver. I saw it in the works the other day. I was like, that is amazing stuff to use. If I'm doing anything Christmassy, that has to be my number one emboss. And I haven't got many embossing powders, but it's silver pearl, that's what it's called. I'm going to get the rest of the glitter out of here. Okay, and then I'm going to put the glitter on. So with the glitter, put the cap on first, would help. With the glitter, obviously it doesn't warm up to the heat. However, it will give me a nice effect. So where do I want the glitter to be? I think I'm going to do it around the border. And I am going to go a little bit on these flowers. I haven't put anything on top of them. Okay. Again, just dotting it on. See what comes of it. Right. My glitter comes in a little, it's got a little cardboard thing on it. Take the cardboard thing off and then I can use it as a shaker. But I always keep the cardboard because then I can store it any way I want to. So I'm just going to sparkle a little bit of glitter. Just a tad. And I'm going to shake him off. That will be that one. If I want to do a little more, actually. There. Let me do the other one. So the other one, let's decide. I want to be able to show this bird off a little bit more. So I'm going to do little dots on the bird. Amy thinks. And again, the bird dye I bought from the range. I think I bought it last year. I'm sure I bought it last year. I'm going to put some on his tail. And I'm going to put some on his beak, I think, to get his beak going. I'm going to lay that completely flat. It's the same with these flowers. And where do I want this one? I think I just want it dotted all the way around. There. You're ready? These are lovely. Thank you, Debbie, sweetheart. Thank you, Carol. Loving them. Thank you, guys. Glitter festy. Tap it off. There, look. Can you see it? Right, I'm going to dry them and then I think that would be it I want to add to, except I'm going to do a little bit of gesso on the flowers. Apart from that, something. Okay, let me put my glitter back before I end up getting it everywhere. And then I'm going to add a little bit of gesso, and then that's my little project for this evening. Okay, where's the card gone? See, the card goes on top, and then I'm able then to still that back in where I got it from, which is the drawer. Come on. There you go. Back in the drawer. Oh my god, how organised am I? What's happened? And I got a little bit of gesso here, and I have got a little bit of a flat brush, but it's the brush I use for gluing. And all I'm going to do is just tie these. Just tie the flowers down a little bit so it doesn't take away from the actual what we've accomplished with the colour. Actually looks like snow around the edges. Oh, cool. What am I doing on this one? Now I figured that one out. Looks like snow around the edges. Here. And then I'd let this sit then all night so the glitter gets a chance to dry. Everything's dry, and then I probably would add either like a piece of card or tea dyed stained paper or something on the back so I can write on it. That makes sense. Like I say, homemade gesso, you can't go wrong. There you go. That is my project for this evening. I hope you all enjoyed that. I had a blast of a time crafting. I must admit, I did enjoy doing that, and I'm so glad I'm able to use those books because they've been sitting on my drawer, and I haven't been able to use them. So I'll tell you what the books are called. So the main one I've used is this one, and it's called 3D decoupage paper, Sweet Winter Dreams, and it's got everything in there, completely everything. And I did use some bits and pieces out of this one, which was Winter Feelings, but as you can see, it's really built up, and you can make these from your own cutouts. Don't forget what I said about the cutouts from your big shot. Use them as stencils, because at the end of the day, you cut the picture out, and 9 times out of 10 we throw them in the bin and don't think anything of it, but you've got a stencil there, so you don't need to go out and buy them. I'm going to be starting to use things around my room rather than going out straight away to buy them. I'm going to my rule of thumb this year, I know New Year hasn't come yet, but my new rule is to start looking around my room and to see whether I can use something else to create what I want to create. Use these, for example, instead of going out and buying stencils. So that is my project for tonight. I hope you really enjoyed tonight. Thank you to everyone who commented. Thank you for all the thumbs up, by the way. I can see them on the screen, so thank you so very much. Like I said, the next couple of parts to my room I will post up over the weekend, so you'll get to see more of my room and how I store my craft items. But have a lovely rest of the weekend wherever you are in the world. I am going to I think I'm going to go tie up a little bit and then I'm going to curl up in bed. I will love and leave you all till next week. Have a lovely rest of the week, wherever you are in the world. And until next week, bye for now. Bye.